Hello everyone and welcome to today's video. Now today we are going to be talking about the June Joust tournament which finished yesterday. I forgot to make a video on it, but I was a little bit tired from yesterday, but we're going to be recording here today on a Monday. And I guess there's been a little bit of a trend going on from the May Melee and the June Joust, and you can make your own conclusion on that. So let's just have a look at the tournament. And it was literally just finished. You already saw the top four. So these were the teams that competed: Gladiators, Shock, Atlanta, Outlaws, Fuel, Uprising, Spark Dragons, Dynasty, and Excelsior. For the regional knockout, it was Dallas and Atlanta who advanced to the finals, and then for the West and then for the East, it is the NYXL and the Shanghai Dragons. A little bit surprising about Atlanta actually winning against Shock. It was a very easy 3-0, surprisingly. It was a bit close in Hollywood, but it was mainly a 3-0 victory. And Shock has still not even competed in a single tournament finals. Let's just sink in for you. Two-time champions of the San Francisco Shock have not even competed in Hawaii yet. Just let that sink in for a bit. Obviously, in the East, I'm a bit shocked about how good NYXL have performed. I was expecting them to probably I guess get some map offs, but I wasn't expecting them to actually win against the Hangzhou Spark. And Seoul versus Shanghai, why am I not even surprised? Shanghai has been on a roll, 3-0 in Seoul Dynasty. So I guess we'll talk about the tournament weekend, and this is what the tournament weekend bracket happened. Well, looked like. NYXL got 3-0 by Atlanta. A little bit surprising there. Dallas versus Shanghai, 3-0 by Dallas. I'm not really that surprised about that. In the winners finals, Dallas 3-1 Atlanta. Shanghai versus NYXL in the losers round 1. It was a 3-0 easy win victory for the Shanghai Dragons. Losers finals again very easy for Atlanta, even though for Shanghai, even though it was a bit close in the map points. Having the grand finals was where it was crispy. 3-4, and it went to Shanghai's way. Reverse sweeping at the very end, winning it all. I couldn't watch it sadly, as I was out, but I can imagine that this was definitely the match of the whole year. Like it could be a contender for the match of the season, because that's definitely now rivalry. Dallas versus Shanghai. Obviously, Dallas, they got Fearless from the Shanghai Dragons. Shanghai, they have some great pieces of players. So, really excited to see what happens there, and if the rivalry does continue. So that's the tournament weekend. Shanghai Dragons winning in June Joust. Dallas still winning against May Melee. Both those win the grand finals. Is anyone really surprised? And then actually at the bottom we had the Chinese All-Star show matches. So there were a couple show matches that happened in China and Hangzhou. It was the team Yingxiao versus the team Qinghao. I'm sorry if I butcher all those names. But for the Yingxiao, it contests of Shy, Eileen, Fei, Krong, Coldest, and Hybe. While in Qihang, it contests of Leaf, Molanran, Gushui, Void, 1987, and Mika. Ying Xiao won against King Hao. I'm butchering all these names, I apologize. 2-1. Then there was another one, a very weird one. It was called the Jousting 2v2. It was the NYXL's Yakpunk and Bianca versus the Shanghai Dragons Void and Fate. And it was NYXL actually winning Yakpunk and Bianca winning the joust between Void and Fate. So Yakpunk and Bianca, I guess, are the best tank duos, I guess, in those teams. And for the final one, there was it was a $20,000 Widowmaker 1v1 contest of Guangbong, Lip, Kai, and Pine. Pine actually lost to Lip. It was very close. It was 5-4. However, Kai just got destroyed by Guangbong. It was a 5-1. However, in the finals, it was very close against Lip and Guangbong actually won in the finals against Lip 7-6. Which means I get well he won actually $15,000 and Lip got $5,000, so eh. So that is the June Joust weekend. Very surprised that the Shock didn't advance once again to the tournament weekend. Dallas and Shanghai, they've been just on a roll, just getting all those points. Very, very crucial points for the end of the season. And New York, obviously, surprising me, actually winning against Hangzhou. So, I guess I guess I can kind of maybe look at the standings for it. So here we go. So Dallas, oh well, actually Shanghai will be basically in the lead with 11 points. There'll be Dallas, so it's very very close. So basically, record doesn't really matter. It's mainly how many points you get. So I guess I'll start off with the West region. The Dallas Fuel is in first place, and second then San Francisco Shock, Houston Outlaws, which are basically tied. The LA Gladiators and the Washington Justice in fourth and fifth. Then I guess I should only know. Atlanta and Florida, 6th and 7th, and Toronto, Boston, Paris, London, and Vancouver, both of them tied for 11th place. For the East, it is Shanghai Dragons in first and the Seoul Dynasty, then the Philly Fusion, Hangzhou Spark, Chengdu Hunters, NYXL, Guangzhou Charge, and last, it is the LA Valiant. Uh, so I guess that's really it, but also we have some roster moves that we have to talk about. We so we so we've last time we talked about DM retiring. Now Neko has left the Guangzhou Charge as the assistant coach. Extra has now been promoted up from Up Academy to be be the assistant coach for the Guangzhou Charge when they find a head coach. And after DM's retirement, a couple days later, Shanghai Dragons now has a new player called Develop. He was formerly a player from Talent Esports, who's well known as he's a very well known um mainly a APAC team. Well, yeah, so they're originally from the Asia Pacific team region. Now um they've been now a transaction to the Korean scene, which is pretty nice. I think they've actually competed pretty well against them. They actually came second um from O2 Blast, so yes, Talent have definitely done really, really well in their span of being the team. So develop definitely a prodigy to really look out for the Shanghai Dragons. And speaking of that, let's talk about the Summer Showdown. So I kind of already did this in week 11. Oh, sorry, in like the last video about the June Joust. So I guess I'll just maybe just run it off a bit, like maybe maybe just say some matches that are very very notable to look out for. So in June 25th in the West region, probably Gladiators and Shock is definitely the most interesting one. June 26th, don't really know, probably none of them. Even though maybe Guangzhou and NYXL. June 26th for the West, so that's for the East. For the West, probably I don't know. I'll maybe say Florida versus Toronto, or even Vancouver versus Boston. June 27th in the East, um, probably NYXL versus Valiant or Chengdu versus Guangzhou. And for the West, on June 27th, probably Boston versus Florida. I don't really know. For week 12, July 2nd, probably maybe Paris versus Shock just to see how Paris goes against one of the big dogs. On July 3rd for the East, Seoul versus Shanghai definitely. July 3rd for the West, maybe Houston versus Shock. That'll be a good one. July 4th, I don't really know. Maybe Philly versus Shanghai. And July 4th for the West, Atlanta versus Dallas. For July 8th, I'll probably maybe say Boston versus Houston or Atlanta versus London. Really any of them. Um, July 9th, which be actually hosted by the Shanghai Dragons in the East. Probably Shanghai versus Valiant or I don't know, maybe Chengdu versus Philly. July 9th in the West, Dallas versus Houston, definitely the Texas battle. July 10th for the East, probably NYXL versus Philly. And then July 10th for the West, I'll say maybe Washington versus Gladiators. So those are really like matches I think you should kind of look out for. But obviously people have different opinions, so yeah. So that's it for me now. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Catch you guys on next time in the next one. Goodbye.